Most people dream of strangers. Most people forget them. Beth did not, because for her, the dreams didn't fade when the sun came up, they got clearer, sharper. And what started out as harmless, subconscious imagination slowly turned into something else. Something that made her question what was real and what wasn't. This is the true story, according to Beth, of the man who existed twice. Beth had always been a light sleeper, anxious mind, busy job, quiet apartment. Everything about her life felt muted, predictable, ordinary. Until the night she dreamed of the man in her kitchen. He stood there like someone who'd lived there for years, elbows resting on her counter, head bowed slightly as if lost in thought. He had dark hair, soft eyes, and a posture that radiated an almost unsettling calm. And when he looked up, he said her name. Not loudly, not excitedly, just like he was relieved to finally say it. Beth. She woke instantly, heart hammering, sheets twisted, breath tight in her chest. It wasn't fear, it was recognition. But that made no sense. She had never seen this man before in her life. The next night, he returned. And the next. And the next. Always the same man. Always in familiar places. Her kitchen, her hallway, the little balcony where she drank tea on slow mornings. As if he belonged there. As if they'd lived a life together that she couldn't quite remember. His name, she eventually learned, was Evan. Not because he told her, but because she knew it. The way you know gravity or the taste of water. Dream Evan wasn't like normal dream people. He didn't flicker, he didn't shift, he didn't feel hazy or symbolic or strange. He felt real. Beth felt the warmth of his hand when he brushed her shoulder. She felt the weight of him when he sat beside her on that old corduroy couch. She felt a jolt in her stomach every time he looked at her with that expression. The one that said he knew her better than she knew herself. Every morning, she woke up with the faint scent of pine on her pillows. She tried to explain it once to a friend. But how do you tell someone that you are falling for a person who only exists in your dreams? You're lonely, her friend said. Your brain is making comfort. Beth nodded, but deep down she didn't buy it. Loneliness doesn't create details. Loneliness doesn't create the way Evan laughed or the way he always cracked his knuckles before saying something serious. Loneliness doesn't create memories of conversations that felt like they happened years ago. Then, one afternoon, everything changed. Beth was waiting at a crosswalk, earbuds in, half distracted, when she felt a familiar pull, a strange tightening in her chest, like deja vu with a pulse. Across the street, a man stepped into the sunlight. Same hair, same posture, same face. Evan. Evan. In the real world. But he looked right past her like she was a stranger. Beth followed him. She didn't mean to. Her feet just moved. He crossed the street, turned down a narrow side road, and disappeared into a small cafe. She stood outside, breath caught in her throat, staring through the window as he ordered coffee. Alive, solid, real, but something was off. He was quieter than Dream Evan, more withdrawn. He looked tired, almost hollow, and when he glanced out the window, his eyes passed over her without a flicker of recognition. It wasn't the same man. Not fully, not exactly. That night, Beth dreamed again. But this time, the dream didn't take place in her apartment. It took place in his. She saw a desk covered in sketches she didn't recognize, a blue mug with a crack down one side, a single jacket hanging by the door, the same jacket she saw him wearing earlier that day. Dream Evan sat across from her and said quietly, "You weren't supposed to see him." Beth froze. "Him who?" she asked. Evan hesitated. Then, "The other me." Her skin prickled. Real Evan? You know about him? He nodded once. He's not from your side, and I'm not from his. She stared at him. So what are you? His answer was soft, but it rattled through her like thunder. I'm the version of him your mind pulled closer, and now the walls are thin. After that, things got strange. Objects in Beth's apartment shifted places when she wasn't looking. Lights flickered with no electrical issue. Her phone glitched. Timestamps? Wrong. Photos duplicated. Sometimes she woke up to find her bedroom colder than the outside air. Once, she caught her reflection blinking a half second too late. Her dreams grew stronger, more vivid, more emotional. Dream Evan reached for her hand, and her skin tingled hours after she woke. And worst of all, real Evan started noticing her, not in a romantic way, in a puzzled, unnerved, almost haunted way, like he had dreamed of her too but couldn't remember when or why. One day he approached her outside the cafe. "Excuse me," he said hesitantly. "Have we met?" Beth couldn't breathe, but before she could answer, her vision glitched. A brief, sharp flash like the world skipped a frame. And for just a second, real Evan's face was replaced by Dream Evan's. Then everything snapped back. Real Evan stepped backward. "Never mind," he murmured, shaken, and hurried away. That night, Dream Evan visited again. His eyes were sad. "It's happening faster now," he said. "You and I, we weren't meant to cross, but you pulled me too close, and he feels it." Beth choked on her words. "What happens if this continues?" His answer was barely a whisper. "Someone disappears." Beth tried to avoid sleep the next night. She tried to distract herself, stay awake, keep herself grounded in her own world, but exhaustion eventually won. When she opened her eyes, she was standing in the middle of a foggy street. Dream Evan stood at the far end, expression full of something like grief. He lifted his hand. "Beth," he said, "I'm sorry." The fog swallowed him. She woke gasping. Her phone buzzed. A message, unknown number. She opened it. One word. "Beth?" The sender's location tag was impossible. It said the message came from inside her apartment. She lifted her head. At her bedroom doorway, a silhouette stood perfectly still, the shape of a man, unmoving, waiting, and the only thought that ran through her mind, which version is it?